on skis, putting the heaters in the engine compartment the night before so the engine will warm to start in the morning. And off we went. We landed on a couple lower lakes, no luck, no game. Finally went up to a higher lake and found some goats staying just ahead of the snow as it comes down from the mountains as the winter comes on. Really close to the shore of the lake. The plane behind me didn't see them. I said, well, I'll come around one more time, and where they are, I'll just wiggle the wing. And they said, oh, no, we see them, so we're going to land. It was a Super Cub. I don't know if you know what those little aircraft are. They weigh about 1,100 pounds. They're rags and glue over a framework that if you saw that, you would probably never get in it. But it's extremely tough for what it's designed for, but it's easily damaged if you do things that it wasn't designed for. And this was not part of the operation manual. Anyway, I radioed down to all the ice, and Isaac came back. He's a doc. He said, ice seems good and hard. And then I heard a noise like whoops, and the airplane broke through. The ice was only about 1.5 inches thick, with about 2 inches of snow on top. The airplane will then start to settle till the wings are laying flat on the ice. The engine is down a little bit in the water, and the tail wheel is still on the ice with the tail in the air. And in a Super Cub, it's 6 feet from there to the tail wheel. 6 feet, just about like this much. All right, there's a phenomenon in Alaska on the lakes we call overflow. And I'll talk to that a little bit later, but we did not know what next. I'm in my plane. We got 2 people that are wet, getting along the wings, rolling toward shore where the ice is stronger so they can walk. And they're about a mile from where I could be, and I was able to land on the lake, run up on what we call the glacier outwash, and wait for them. Okay, so back to town. Now what? A lot of strategy. So the next day we were going to head up, and we got a tractor tire in or two. What are we going to do with that? We're going to tie it on the tail wheel spring, so if we can't get back, maybe next summer we can find this thing and then figure out what to do. Also, to market, I don't know why we put a sprig of alder on there, but we did.
And that's
the tragedy of this was, it was 6 weeks before a lot of different things before we got back up there. And like they're talking about Alaska lakes, they'll freeze, and then water come up on top of the ice and freeze again, and subsequently you end up with like about this much ice. But by the time March and April comes around, it's okay. But that wasn't the problem.
And the plane was in between
that plane
the ice?
is in ice.
Yeah.
So it's actually in ice.
This is the story of myself and a guy and a lady doctor. Now we got this thing out and flew it home.
What? No. Get out.
Okay. And you ever go and stop on this?
Yep. You just tell me when to stop.
Okay. This is Dr. Regal. That's kind of her tent. She is shoveling down kind of where we think the nose of the airplane is. And we're going to auger a hole. There you see the tail. Our inner tube, there's our inner tube. And there's some more stuff. Anyway,
What year is this, Jerome?
91.
Okay.
And that's like 15 to 20 below, and this is the
gee.
environment we're working in. This is how we started. That's a little 3-horse
Outboard.
Johnson outboard that has an angle propeller, the wigless model. I don't think they even make it anymore. we had 3 of those. We ran one day where we thought where the engine is in front of the plane. And at the end of the day, we found out we had opened up about an 8-foot huge big hole.
Whoa, really? Just stirring the water.
Just stirring the water. So back to town for some more motors. And the people in town were really worried about us, so they'd come up with a beaver once in a while and know how us guys are going. They gave us a lot of advice, which was not really well received. So the reputation was they're pretty owly up there. Anyway.
You said this was 92?
91. There's a little outboard.
Well, it'd be fun getting on that inner tube behind the plane.
Well, that thing kind of floated around.
So they come
And now
back.
they're heading back to town, but we're at way above timberline. But there's the tail of the airplane. That's it. And now here's a tripod we're starting to put together, and sort of a work tent. There's our heater, and that's me. And we have a kind of a generator, but nothing works unless the generator works. So we had a kind of like a flamethrower blowtorch. We'd warm the generator up with that, and then we get our other stuff to work. There's our equipment. You had to do it that way because the lake was still continuing to overflow. And anything you let sit there, you come back the next morning, it'd be frozen. So we learned, say, well, can't let that sit there anymore. And there's an extra prop. We're kind of optimistic. And we flew a snowmobile in.
Yeah.
Grab your leg. This is on one of the night days.
Jerome, could you step back just another foot or so?
Sometimes we get talking too much.
No,
Good
you're
story.
doing great. There's Jerome again. Yeah.
You believe there's an airplane, there's a whole airplane underneath.
I know, that's unbelievable.
Jerome, come over on this side.
Okay.
Yeah, over here. Yeah.
There's assembling the tripod. The rationale was an A-frame kind of device. We were able to lift the plane. That we could figure that out. But how are you going to get it out of the hole if there was such a thing? And so we set it up on like clevises and toggles, so we could lift the plane and then straighten up the tripod and bring it forward and get it out of the hole. It doesn't look like we're doing much, but we're doing okay. We did. Boiling some water.
Move your foot.
There's our tripod.
Oh, there's a little motor going.
Maybe I ought to go stand way back there.
Yeah.
You're good.
Yeah, you sit beside Pat there, yeah.
You know.
Why don't you sit in the chair close to the door?
Yeah.
There you go.
I
Start
can
from
move
there.
over.
Oh, I can breathe really good standing. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll move over. Okay, there you go. But this tripod was made out of 2-inch pipe and 6-foot lengths. And there's the steel plates we put them on. Reflecting back, we probably didn't even need that. But this is the lifting mechanism that we counted on to get that airplane out of the hole. Meanwhile, we got the outboard motors going. Look at me work. I'm really good.
I know. It looks cold there.
Oh, there's a blowtorch. I don't know if we ever even used it.
Way too cold.
And I'm not sure what that drum was for.
Anchor for something.
Oh, there's that's kind of non-subsidized housing. And tie the tent down. Okay, here's augering down, and you can see we're going clear to the bend of the ice auger.
Yeah.
Remember, we still got a rags and glue airplane in this field.
might be a stupid question, but why didn't you just wait a few months till the ice melted? Wouldn't it have been easier?
Well, we don't have an answer for somebody who's more intelligent.
Does the ice,
Kind of wondering that.
as far as the river?
Would have been near so much
And
fun.
all the stuff that you
definitely.
see here is we
Yeah.
flew in with our little airplanes.
Pretty much. Cleaned up.
Now, remember we talked about the inner tube? There's the inner tube. Tied to tail wheel spring.
Yeah.
That came back to haunt us. Because we got the airplane free of the ice, but the inner tube is still tied to the tail wheel spring 3 feet down.
Oh.
And you'll see how we solved it here. It's kind of magic. Okay, there's the airframe. We got it. We got it sort of. We put a loop down the hole and went around with a loop, and we think we got a hold of the propeller shaft.
How the heck would you know?
Well, it's some kind of Polish magic.
Okay.
Now you see that little device there?
The shovel?
No, it was. Well, there's another one. These little deals here. Well,
Yeah, go up.
Yeah, go ahead, get up there.
well, back up a bit. Maybe
Hay
back.
point. Right?
Oh, they call them come-alongs.
Okay.
And some can be set up. They'll have a two-ton pull,
Yeah.
and it's only like about a 15 or 20-pound little device. There's my bird parked. We always had a plane ready on standby with the engine calling on under heat.
Is that
Now.
your
That was my
Plane?
bird. Yeah. So you see that we've been able to melt a lot of ice,
All the nice, yeah.
yeah.
but now we had another phenomenon come to visit us. When a lake freezes, or it just freezes. It does not freeze. How do you say it? There's always about an inch above where the water is.
Yeah.
So we could melt up to that inch. Guess how we found out what was going on?
Fell through.
We fell in. Okay, so you see the planks?
Yeah.
That's sort of how we sold that, for at least terms of. And then we found out. Well, see the two motors?
Yeah.
He said that works pretty good. So we went back to town. I got a pair of 18 horses, and there is the tail of the bird. Here are extra motors.
Yeah. Yeah.
We are slowly melting the ice around this plane.
And that's just
They
by
are
moving the
so
water.
fragile that you dare not get on there with any kind of tools because you're going to just go damage them really easily. Okay, this doesn't really tell the whole story, but we got word from town that there's some terrible stuff coming, and we've got to get our ass out of Dodge before we get stuck up there. So we ended up going back to town for 2 days. And came back, and most of the work we've been doing, we had to go back and do over. And bust out a lot of the ice. It froze about 4 inches. And now here's Doc Regal. She's getting the ice pieces out of the way.
Why was she there?
Well, it's her airplane.
Oh, it was her plane.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's a little cold.
Is that Herman?
Yeah. Remember I said
Where is that, Herbert?
Where's Herman now?
He's still in the ice.
He still lives in
Remember I said there's somebody else from town that came up to help us and give us advice. Anyhow, remember I talked about the inner tube tied to the tail wheel spring?
Yeah.
He had to go down and cut that rope. 'Cause
Oh.
I had the plane hung up. Okay. Another nice day. Our
So-
tool went through the thing.
Suit, I say.
So Herman dove down?
Well, you saw him go down there for like about Good 10 or 15 seconds cutting that rope.
Jeez.
That was Gentleman Willis. He's the guy that came back to town.
How far are you from town flying?
About 60 miles. See the cardboard boxes?
Yeah.
Those little motors are running, and the snow's blowing, and you hit the motor and melt. Pretty soon the damn motor is just getting to be a block of ice and going slower and slower and slower, and finally just quit. So we had to get it out of there, and haul it back in the tent with a big heater, and thaw them out and get them going again. And yeah, what a job that was. But anyhow, I said, well, let's get some cardboard boxes and stick over the motors.
How warm are those tents?
Well, the one with the big heater in is pretty good. The other one is kind of ambient temperature.
Anna, did you go out to watch this?
Did you go and watch? What were you doing?
I was teaching school.
She had a good excuse.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
This is
Did
when
you
we
use that as an educational tape of what not to do?
This is a recap when we came back to town after we had worked up there for a week.
It was all frozen
And
again.
we still got airplane and ice.
Imagine coffee at the local plumbing shop was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
There's our inner tube. There's our tail.
At least it's nice and sunny.
Looks like the engine got frozen.
Well, these may not necessarily be in sequence. You see the guy there in the red hat?
Yeah.
He was snowmobiling about a month and a half before, and he had a 44 mag pistol. It fell out of the holster, hit the hammer, and fired off and went right through him. My good friend Doc Sankster patched him up, and 6 weeks later he's up there giving us a hand getting the airplane out. So that's good for him.
Yeah.
Put a rope on it, use it.
There's our 18 horse motors.
Man, you'll be in town in a minute.
See, what you don't see here is there's a whole lot of ice being melted underneath, but there's a shield of ice on top, which we just left, that helps keep it from freezing down all the time.
So the motor thins the ice?
You know, up to where it can hit it.
Yeah.
You know, the lakes stratify, and the coldest water's on top. It'll go down to about 39 degrees, and that's the temperature at the bottom of the lake. Water is unique. It expands to a point and then it shrinks again. And you drop the temperature you raise the temperature from 39, it gets less dense, and then it floats. So the heaviest water is at 39 degrees at the bottom of the lake. And it was 60 feet deep underneath where we were.
That's what you do. Spring. No, because, yeah. Yeah.
What you don't see is we're doing pretty good underneath. And be careful where you walk. You're gonna see an airplane here pretty quick.
Okay.
Jerry, how expensive are these planes?
What?
How expensive are these planes?
Well, a new Cub is 300 grand. Back then they were probably like 12 to 15.
Yeah, so that's a little bit.
They sold new when they first started making them for like 25.
Oh, you're making progress there.
Oh, see the planks?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah.
But that
Oh, look, it's starting to come to the thing.
Pretty good lake there.
Where are the goats?
I guess
You're up high laughing, right?
okay.
The snow hasn't come down.
they're the fishing.
And there's the come along.
They'll come on, yeah.
That's Jerry.
Oh, you're starting to weave her up.
Oh, you're really making progress. Fancy piece. Yeah. Looks like ice. Yeah.
How to do it, yeah.
So do you think of this, Jerry, to do it this way? Or who masterminded this?
Mostly me. Any questions? No,
size
no, that,
feature?
the A-frame idea is mine. The upward motors we heard from someplace.
Oh, there's part of
Okay.
that. Good.
The airplane had so much ice in it, it still floated.
Oh, wow.
You see it starting to freeze right away?
Yeah.
I mean, goddamn, it was cold. Okay, this is going to do some, I don't know what we're doing.
So you have a wind chill too.
Maybe,
there,
maybe
right?
we're taking the gas caps off and, oh no, this is getting on the lifting rings.
Yeah.
Ah,
Have you sold this as a documentary?
No, these are just all home brews.
I don't know. I think it would be really cool. I think people would really enjoy watching
Well,
this.
we're going to be looking at that when I get back because Dr. Regal, I got a good friend that does movie stuff, and we thought they can take these Super 8 movies and maybe the new technology kind of spiff them up, and we have some still photos that we can dub in.
Very good.
On DVD and that, yeah.
Can we
And-
get your
and-
autograph?
And,
Yeah, you said
and
yeah.
narrate
Yeah, you said they were really bad, but it wasn't that bad.
and recreate some stuff if you can borrow our airplane.
Yeah, right. That's amazing. Yeah.
How long did this take you to do this, Jerry?
2 weeks.
2
Oh,
weeks.
yeah.
That was all just 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Wow.
Easter vacation was over.
They expended probably about the same amount of money and avgas getting it out. The
Exactly.
airplane was worth
So did you stay there, Jerry, the full 2 weeks?
Yeah, well, I've been going back and forth hauling stuff and going back to groceries and stuff. But here's trying to put the lift on it.
So this lifts on there. Airplanes have.
Starting to lift it, are they not? It's kind of floating.
But before
Well,
they
there's
got to
still a lot of
December,
ice in one
how
wing.
they
Is
got
there?
down
Yeah.
to hook around the
You
front
saw
of
the guy put his arm
Yeah.
down
It
there.
wasn't full of air, was it?
Oh.
In order to get that
Like
rope
you said,
Oh,
it
because
was,
the
there was so
rope-
much ice in the plane itself, it floated
Yeah.
by itself.
And then they hooked it once it got
I think so.
Yeah, now they're like.
level with the water.
and then to get the rope around the prop. Start
Yeah.
lifting it.
Wow.
Holy.
Keep telling the
They're
story,
on the
Sonny.
lifting eyes there now.
Well, I think it's explained what we're doing.
They put those hooks on the plane because they know this is gonna happen.
So how cold would it be, Jerry?
That was probably like 15, maybe 20 below.
And do you have
Did it
wind?
Well, you can see the ice starting to form as soon as it gets in the
Yeah.
water.
So is it windy or was it?
Well,
No.
these were taken on decent days.
Yeah.
On bad days, nothing.
They were all in
The left wing still got a lot of ice
Lots
in
of
it.
ice in it.
I mentioned here that the wings on this little airplane stretched over ribs, but there has to be something to hold the fabric to the rib.
Right.
So they have the special waxed linen thread that does not respond to temperature change,
Really?
and they stitch back and forth to hold the fabric to the wing,
Yeah.
or to the ribs. And it's called rib stitching, and it's a network of spider webs in there. And geez, you got to be really careful about any of it, because if the wing is not attached to the rib, it'll just billow out, and then it screws up the whole lift component.
Yeah. Well, that is.
redesigning the airfoil.
Well, now you can see it's an airplane.
Yeah. Jerry, did this plane fly again?
I don't know what he's doing with
They
that.
flew it out of there.
They did?
Yeah.
Well, they did?
Read it all out?
That's right. Drain the oil,
We got some damage on it.
put oil
So
back.
what we did is soak some beer bottle cartons, nice, and then just stuck them on and it froze on nice and tight. So it's just cleaned it up.
Yeah.
For the fabric.
Oh, jeez. Were you drinking beer up there too?
Okay. Now here comes our
Kept 'em
big plastic tent.
Oh, yeah.
and we're gonna stretch that over there and maybe get some of the heat off that $250,000 BTU burner deal and help.
Either that or vulcanize it.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Have
that's,
it shrink wrapped.
I told him, why don't we just sink this thing down there 60 feet and let it sit down there for a week? It'll be all done, but I couldn't.
I just left it with my insurance.
Oh my gosh. That's a lot of dedication.
Yeah.
No, I don't think I would have done that.
if
Oh,
you're
it's a
person
guy
like the
thing.
rest of us, we
It,
all
it takes,
underinsured
it,
are.
okay, and here's a canvas that we dropped over the front of our work area so we wouldn't fall in. Oh, we're gonna have a little coffee.
Yeah.
I guess not.
That must have been just straight coffee, because I don't think there's any booze in that. It would have been dumb.
You know, this footage isn't all that bad right here. In fact, going barehanded, this must be a nice day.
Yeah.
We were tough then.
Middle of summer.
So what month is this, Jerry?
February.
February.
Other than it being 28 years ago,
Okay.
does she still have the airplane?
Now,
Does she?
there's stuff in the airplane, so I'm out on the plank. You know, got another guy talked out doing the plank. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Jeez.
Who's that crawling in there? Is that you?
Well, I'm the assist. If he falls in, I'm the one calls for help.
Good man. Good man.
The water's moving pretty quick.
Got the motor working yet.
Where's the plane now, Jerome?
It's a way the still left wing is heavy.
Are they still flying it?
Yeah.
Are
She's
they?
still flying it?
It's
Yeah.
still hers?
Oh, we flew it for 8 or 10 years after this.
Oh, good. So
It went back to town with new instruments, new radio, and new motor.
But you got another half hour out of the motor, right? Flying
Well, you
back.
know, it's a glacier lake, and it has glacier particles in it. They're so fine they hardly ever settle out. You know, the Brownian movement or Tyndall shell.
It's like a rifle there. Is that in the plane?
Yeah, there was a rifle in there too. Hard to go goat hunting without one, but if you're really fast.
Obviously,
Oh, you see that? Well, there's probably water in the cylinder, so that won't turn over. But
Did they fly
oh,
it
you see the Q-tip prop?
Yeah.
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 We invented those right there,
Ice with the ice.
and those are actually on modern airplanes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really?
In fact, they had a FAA guy in LA red tag an airplane because until the propellers got rebuilt.
Really?
For the education was in order.
Yeah.
Now, what would have been that?
The ice.
Went through the ice, the prop
On the
was
history
still
of the
internal.
airplane,
Oh,
what does it say?
set
Just
down.
had a little dip, you know, or what?
You see this? We got planks. We got planks underneath the skis,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and we're going to start to inch
You
that
got a
thing
slider
forward
up
out of
onto
the
the
hole.
planks, yeah. Oh,
You see that? You see that A-frame? You
Yeah,
notice
you're just
it's
pulling
going
on
to
the
be
head.
it's going to be coming forward and standing straighter up.
Yeah.
But we knew at this point we got this plane. We got it.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did tail get dinged? Or the vertical stabilizer?
Yeah.
Now you see that plastic?
Yeah.
We got off over the side. We put that big sheet of plastic over the whole airplane. Used the tripod we took apart for weight, and we had up to 120 degrees in there.
Oh, wow.
And we dried out the plane. We pulled the magnetos off to rinse them in alcohol. We put alcohol in the gas tanks.
Yep.
Went all the way through the carburetor and drained that, and oil, and pulled the spark plugs out. But there was a trick. When you pull the magnetos off, they are set up with a set of gears, and one gear has 2 dots, the other one has 1 dot, and the 1 dot goes between them. Well, somebody moved the prop. And we weren't quite sure where it was, so we got it back together. And it did run, but oh my God, you'd think the pistons were changing rolls. It was just terrible. But we got it to run good enough to fly it out of the mountains. And then Herman kept right on the go, and he got all the way back to town.
So you flew it back to town?
Flew it back to town.
Hey, that's amazing.
So Herman lost the point toss?
Yeah.
Actually, it was his plane before he sold it to Dr. Riedel.
Oh.
Lot of pickings.
That is amazing.
What a story.
You're gonna have to.
She hasn't gone flying with you guys since.
Or goat hunting. Not even the quads.
Those are probably the most popular plane in Alaska.
Yeah.
What's her name?
See the A-frame almost straight up?
Yeah.
That's how we got it out of the hole.
What's the plane's name?
None or 2 papas, all I know.
Oh,
Coming up now. Yeah.
They go by the numbers on it.
my goodness.
That was amazing.
Okay, you gotta move your A-frame.
You got the blanket on it?
Yeah. Didn't you worry about him? You didn't worry? Yeah.
Especially if it's one of the ones on the
I know.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty extra rocket. They're standing in the snow.
You should put that into a documentary.
They may.
Yeah. How to get out of the ice.
There's our inner tube yet.
Your plane.
Alaskan aberration.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Need a polar bear in there. That's a special tip you put on it. It looks like that. Gives you extra lift. Reduces the lift.
Yeah.
How long did it take to get the plane completely out of the water and onto the ice, Jerome?
Once we got, I would say about 3 days probably, but yeah. Okay.
Oh, new color.
There you are.
Oh.
We're gonna get it started.
Got a new battery up there.
Oh, look at that.
You guys had time to build a shack too?
Yeah. That's we're very busy there.
Okay.
Had the lumber floor.
Now time to start hauling all our stuff back to town. Anyhow,
Very good.
that's the story.
Wow.